Today I'm going to show you an action thriller film from 2023, titled Deadshot. Be ready for spoilers ahead. The film begins with a former member of the IRA, Michael, driving home in the tranquil Irish countryside. He rushes back to his home since his wife, Carol, is due to give birth. Carol is relieved and thrilled to see him, but her excitement immediately turns to confusion when she notices Michael carrying a weapon. She questions Michael about it, but he tells her that it is solely for their protection. He also admits that he had parted ways with Keenan, who appears to have had a detrimental influence on him. Together they travel through the countryside to the hospital, unaware that covert snipers are observing their every move and reporting to their superior. Michael spots a broken branch on a tree, signaling that an armored vehicle had just passed through. Despite his reluctance, he follows Carol's advice and proceeds to explore the woods, briefly leaving her behind. While he is exploring, a British Army vehicle approaches, and soldiers swiftly encroach on his vehicle. Michael watches in horror as one of the British soldiers fatally shoots Carol. Michael desperately flees into the woods to avoid capture, his grief turning into a determination to fight the British once more. Michael, a former member of the Irish Republican Army, departed the paramilitary organization to focus on his role as a devoted husband. Shortly after, Henry Tempest, the Brit who had shot Carol while on a mission. His supervisors had scheduled a disciplinary hearing for him after he effectively killed an unarmed pregnant woman. Tempest admits that he had no intention of killing the woman, nor did he harbor any resentment toward the family because they were Republicans. Tempest claims that when he approached the abandoned car with his gun ready, he suspected Michael was lurking inside. However, when Carol abruptly leapt up, probably due to labor discomfort, Tempest saw it as a threat to himself and the other soldiers and fired his gun 3 times in retaliation. As a result, Tempest is aware that an investigation into his murder of an Irish woman could lead to his arrest and seems apprehensive about his fate. Following the hearing, a senior official, likely from British intelligence, personally approaches Tempest. He offers him an escape from prosecution by recruiting him for a secret mission. After some contemplation, Tempest accepts the offer, ignorant of the scope of the task. Later, Tempest experiences contradictory emotions as he returns to London and reunites with his partner Ruth. Tempest is pleased to have avoided legal trouble, but he is also concerned about the nature of his new duty. Ruth senses his unease, which she relates to the stress of recent events. Meanwhile, Holland informs Tempest and the other recruits about their assignment. They will act as ordinary individuals in London, surveilling the suspected IRA members and eliminating them. The savagery of this assignment surprises Tempest, but he is determined to complete it for his own and his loved one's safety. He and his new crew are to clear out an apartment where they believe IRA militants are hiding. However, Tempest is unaware that a woman has been surreptitiously monitoring him since his return from Ireland. This woman, Catherine, works for an IRA boss named Keenan. She informs the IRA members in the London apartment about Tempest and his colleague. Upon the arrival of Tempest and his team, the situation takes a surprising turn. A shootout breaks out, but Tempest and his colleague manage to neutralize the situation. Back in Ireland, after fleeing capture, Michael gathers his thoughts and determines to find the soldier guilty for his wife's death. Desperate for retribution, Michael reconnects with Keenan, the IRA leader with whom Michael had cut ties. Keenan, who poses as a school principal, is clearly furious that Michael had left the IRA and warns him that if he wants Keenan's support, he must prove himself valuable. Despite his reluctance to engage in further violence, Michael chooses to assist Keenan in his quest for revenge. Michael embarks on a journey to London, accompanied by his friend Toomey, a skilled IRA sniper. Michael and Toomey struggle in their investigations, but they are unable to reach Keenan directly because he is wanted by the British. So they have to communicate with Keenan through Catherine. She surreptitiously contacts Keenan in a booth, relaying communications between him and Michael. She shares information about an IRA assignment that entails bringing a box of bombs to Paddington Station. Despite Catherine's admissions, Michael stays committed to his personal retribution. He learns about Tempest's name and whereabouts through Catherine. He also learns about Ruth and decides to follow her one morning. As he follows Ruth to a small market where she sells garments, a wave of spiteful feelings overtakes him. He almost attacks Ruth but stops himself just in time. Despite his strong need for retribution, he understands that injuring an innocent woman like Ruth will simply continue the cycle of violence. He considers the unfortunate death of his own wife as a result of his involvement with the IRA, despite the fact that she had no political or paramilitary affiliations. With Catherine's help, he evades the police and narrowly avoids a potentially disastrous situation. Catherine encourages Michael to carry out the IRA plan, and he grudgingly agrees. However, he remains persistent in his determination not to kill innocent people. Michael instructs a radical who is preparing a bomb in a suitcase to exclude any shrapnel, stressing that the bomb's purpose should be to create distraction and fear not harm. After initiating the plot and placing the suitcase outside Paddington Station, Michael instructs his men to detonate the bomb within 30 minutes to ensure the area is safe for bystanders. Therefore, after activating the device, Michael decides to inform the police, with the aim of minimizing casualties. He reveals that, as a member of the IRA, He planted a bomb at Paddington Station that will detonate in 30 minutes. Michael feels that bombing the infrastructure will be sufficient to deliver the IRA's message without endangering innocent lives. However, he is unaware that the device utilizes a remote detonation mechanism instead of a timer. The device detonates prematurely within seconds, injuring and killing people. This tragic event reveals that Keenan concealed the true nature of the plot from Michael, with the intention of him engaging in a terrorist act in London. Keenan's deception demonstrates how willing he is to manipulate others to achieve his own goals. Michael is stunned and eventually realizes that he has been faked. Both Michael and Catherine are shocked by the bombing plot's outcome when they seek sanctuary at Catherine's apartment. Suddenly, Keenan appears and reveals his actual intentions to Michael. He admits to telling the British Army about Michael's whereabouts back in Ireland. Michael feels completely betrayed and taken aback by Keenan's confession of betraying him to the British Army in Ireland. The news shatters their previously strong bond, leaving Michael with feelings of anger, hurt, and betrayal. This act represents Keenan's revenge for Michael's resignation from his paramilitary organization. Keenan, who refuses to reveal any information regarding Tempest, assigns Michael another IRA task. The target is Holland, who is leading a secret force that is hunting the Republican Army. Keenan reveals Holland's identity to Michael, claiming that catching Holland will result in Tempest's capture. Michael and Catherine disagree with the proposal, but Keenan responds violently, punching Michael and slapping Catherine hard. Following Keenan's departure, Michael consoles Catherine, presuming she is Keenan's lover. However, Catherine surprises him by admitting that Keenan is actually her biological father, not her partner. Despite his Irish nationalist beliefs, Keenan fell in love with a British woman in London, who bore Catherine. As Catherine became older, Keenan recruited her for IRA operations. Catherine understands the dangers of living near her violent father and decides to depart the country, planning to sail to Boston. She encourages Michael to join her, but he has other plans. After seeing Keenan's deceitful character, Michael decides to confront him. Recognizing that Keenan has exploited his sadness and passion for vengeance, Michael goes to the streets to exact his own version of justice by killing the IRA leader. On the other hand, Tempest's anxiety for Ruth's safety grows following Michael's attempted attack on her. Tempest and Holland question an IRA member to learn more about its operations. In response, Holland instructs Tempest to return to Ireland with the troops to confront the Republicans. Tempest wants to deal with Michael first on his personal vendetta, but Holland dismisses the idea. Tempest, undeterred by Holland's refusal, ignores rules and sets out on his own mission to find and face Michael in order to exact his retribution. Tempest locates Catherine's residence and takes her captive, forcing her to lead him to Michael. With no other option, Catherine agrees and leads Tempest to the beach, where she and Michael intend to join the ship. Tempest hides, ready to attack, as they await Michael's arrival. Catherine, on the other hand, takes advantage of the opportunity to escape, informing Michael of the impending danger. A frenzied chase starts, with Michael running towards the sea as Tempest pursues, shooting his gun intermittently. Despite Michael's best efforts to avoid capture, Tempest catches up with him. Michael disarms him and holds him at gunpoint. Tempest, overcome with sorrow, apologizes bitterly for his role in Carol's death during the climactic fight. Despite his sadness, Michael accepts responsibility for his own acts, admitting that his engagement in IRA operations partly caused his wife's untimely death. As the reality of their mutual guilt seeps in, both men realize that the mindless violence and bloodshed of their long-running battle has resulted in nothing but agony and misery. In a moment of intense clarity, Michael collapses onto the sand, succumbing to his wounds, as Tempest watches, struggling with the weight of their shared sadness and regret. Meanwhile, Catherine successfully boarded the ship, escaping the country and leaving the chaos of war behind. Months later, Tempest returns to his partner, Ruth, who has forgiven him despite their previous arguments about his role in the British Army. Ruth's pregnancy provides a sense of hope and rejuvenation. However, as Tempest enters the busy street, his happiness is short-lived. A sniper, who turns out to be Michael's devoted buddy Toomey, abruptly shoots him down. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this.